Hey, what's good everyone, Ferry here, and today we are looking at a match between Lagblade playing as Ferry versus Mago playing as Zeta. This is not a match that we see super often. I mean, Zeta in general is quite a rare character, but recently got buffed, so, you know, she has our moments. So this is something that I imagine we're going to see a fair bit. Zeta has a very good projectile, especially versus characters that don't have immediate tools to get in. This kind of results in Ferry needing to be in mid-range at all times. In matchups where the opponent doesn't have a good fireball, she can just throw out GG if they decide to go full screen, and that's kind of fine for her. She then safely covers that ground. In this case, it's going to be a little bit different, right? Zeta at full screen is going to be pretty good. And there's that immediate jump punish. You know, that's just going to happen. Zeta has a good jump in, so it's going to be pretty common to see stuff like that. Here, this is quite a surprising mix-up. I think what it was, so if we look how Mago is doing these pogos, right, it's actually quite a lot of delay on them, and I think what Lagblade was going for was to jab him out of that delay. When Zeta is low to the ground and doing that mix, and if she's just stuttering the pogo hops loads, you can jab her out. So goes for the armor here and just breaks straight through, which is quite a big read, to be honest. But the damage output is just gnarly, kind of worth it. And yeah, that once again we saw that exact same thing, right? So tries to press, I think that was at a crouch actually, but tries to press a button there and is actually successful this time. Makes a lot of sense. Alright, returning to neutral. Ferry has to get in. That's going to be a big area of contention, right? These jump-ins from Ferry, if you are a character without like a true DP, they're kind of fucking long to deal with. Obviously she has multiple good jump-ins, and they all reach really low to the ground. It just means that using a normal to anti-air, you have to make a read on the timing. Now Zeta does have armor, so I imagine we're going to see Mago use that a little bit to just break through those early buttons and then counter hit, but we'll have to see as the match progresses. We get knocked down into the mix-up, blocks the overhead, really good stuff there. See me, I just roll it. If I think there's an overhead, I think, nah, fuck it, I'm just going to roll. But Mago is fundamentally a smarter person than I am. And yeah, this projectile here is just giving Mago so much space to work with. This run-up was possible because of the projectile. The projectile was a setup to gain more space on the screen, and that's just awesome. Good anti-air. Nice clean way to finish out the round. Yeah, that weird sort of dynamic at long range is actually super fascinating to see how both players have to respond to it. Man, just goes for another super jump. I guess when you're super jumping from this sort of height. Now, if he reacted early enough, he could have DP'd when it was, you know, like maybe about here. Not entirely sure. It could have whiffed. But when you get behind Ferry, obviously that's when the DP is not going to be great. The horizontal range on it is like one of his weaker points. But maybe if Lagblade reacted earlier, he could have seen something, or at least like, you know, moving away of the 2H. But you definitely, versus Ferry, have to change up those ranges of the jump-ins. Otherwise, it just makes it too easy for her to anti-air. Gonna get a GG set up, trying to keep that pressure in the corner. Good shit, I love that strength. Free whiff, close Bs. What a meaty setup. Yeah, this is awesome. This is such a good tool in this matchup. So you can really, you know, I'm sure if Mago had came down normally, Lagblade would have just twatted that out of the air with a DP or a 2H. But it's because of the dive kick, you know, hitting this low, landing this far away. It's very cool. It's very, very cool. You can just mix up the timing of the jump-ins and catch people out. Good whiff punish. Really good whiff punish. And he's going to get the bouncy ball on the screen. We'll see. Needs to keep him in the corner. Yeah, absolutely. It's just, you know, it's one of those checkmate situations. There is such a good round closer and defensive tool as well, to be honest. Nice, good conversion. Going to get the mix once again. Going for the safe stuff. Not wanting to get out. And yeah, seeing Ferry approach is definitely one of the weirder sights. Nice safe dive kick once again, and just to make extra sure, moves away afterwards. Representing these, staggering the fireball pressure. You know, you don't want them to just be able to like cleanly dash through it. You know, you have to stagger occasionally. Mago's just doing a very good job. Seeing a lot of empty jumps as well, which is wise. Even though the 2H is so good, it sometimes doesn't really count for much. See that using that light normal, less block stun, easier to get a tick throw. It's going to get a nice little corner set up. Pogo hops once again. Oh, man, I love watching Mago play. Look, like, doesn't even whiff punish the dodge and goes in for a throw anyway. That's mad. Oh, awesome conversion there. That'll definitely be the end of the round. Yeah, the way that he's playing the spacing game is really cool. Like, I think Zeta's such an underrated character. She's super good in some matchups. I can't say she's super good in this one, but like, just feels like she has an option for every space on the screen, which is very rare for people versus Ferry. Normally, you're kind of limited in what you can do at certain spaces. Good, smart, dodging through that. I don't actually know, like, I thought that was going to be like a dodge through a buffer or something. I don't know, that was a bizarre one, but gets away with it somehow. And there we go, once again, Margaret's pressure is really good. Those pogo hops, I always thought they were kind of a gimmick, but you see some people do some really cool mix-ups with them that are very risk-free, which is kind of what you're asking for. Yeah, less of that. Right, using GG to just gain space, and that's exactly what you do. Yeah, this is going to be an important movement tool for Ferry in this matchup. It's just web swing, cancel out of it, punish their reaction. Good anti-air, Jesus. Man, Mago's using every tool of this character. Overhead, gets a safe sweep. I'm surprised that this wasn't a didn't get a punish here. It's going for the sweep and then not cancelling it. Feels to me like a setup for a punish. It could just be one of those things once again where he just wasn't ready for it. 'Cause, you know, Mago's just mixed up the options. With any fighting game, like something that's reactable becomes unreactable if you mix it up, right? And it feels that Mago's kind of got that sort of way about him. Good dodge through that. I don't think that'll punish, but yeah, that is one of the really key things you have to do versus Ferry. Let's go back here. I think I've gone back too far. So when you see the whip come out when he cancels it, rolling forward, very important. You gain space. I don't know what this was, maybe a read on another button push, but you can even get a punish actually sometimes. I don't know about the EX whip specifically with Zeta, but if you're playing Ladiva, for example, and I roll through like a 2M whip, I can get a stand medium kick punish. Now the whole goal of Ferry is obviously to not be in a range where this is accessible, but still. Do you see the delay on this? This is crouches for a bit, then goes for the overhead. Now that is right there what makes this mix up scary. You know, myself included, you can post all the tech you like about punishing the instant overhead, but then just things like this, delaying, then going for the overhead, and getting a full conversion for it. That's one of the reasons why Ferry is a scary character. There is a lot of versatility to that mix that not as many people are doing as they should be. Good sweep. I mean, it's hard to do a bad sweep, but that's definitely a good one. And once again, you see that little delay. Mago actually stood block and then crouched into it. Like, that's amazing. That's such a good delay and a perfect, a well-deserved one as well. The variations on that very simple mix-up of high-low was perfect. Alright, starting out with a jump, common stuff. Good. Love this. It just looks sick. From that range, being able to get that conversion just looks super nice. You know, full knockdown, goes for the throw. Just trying to bait out a DP there, I imagine. Oh, nice. Actually, there's something I want to talk about there with how Mago did try and bait that DP. So he ran up, right? And the whole thing in this game is run has risk to it, and that's awesome. But what it means, if you want to run up and bait a DP, you kind of have to commit to something. You have to commit to a dodge, sometimes a roll, sometimes like a back dash. But because he was at advantage due to the late throw tech, he was able to run a bit and then hold down back. And the actual recovery from the run will cover him in this situation. Like, he will be able to get past that recovery and just normal block, which is way less risky than doing a dodge. When you do a dodge, obviously it's got a visual cue that anyone can punish. So doing this, yeah, it's another level. I really like it. Yeah, it's getting hit mashed out. It's going to happen. Yeah, the early jump right there is an important part of her arsenal, because you want to be able to get out of the corner. And having the flexibility between roll and the instant overhead helps a lot. Alright, I like that air to air. Yeah, there we go. Seeing some more DPs now. Can't armor that, and that's the end of the round. Really, I like this corner pressure, man. Seeing Mago's set play as well, I like it. It's just such a free-flowing set play with Zeta. It's not, you know, your traditional anime set play. How did you not press a button there with that delay in your face? You're a maniac. Just trying. Like, sees the GG, then sees that situation, just wants to get a button to connect, right? You block something, GG disappears. Dodging through that, and then getting the push into it. Man, you're good. Lagblade is good. Alright, this could be where it all changes though. Once again, just willing to 5A out of that. I think, like, you know, when you're a DP character, you land a lot more wake up 5As than you should. Or 5Ls. Just, if the opponent hesitates trying to bait a DP, you get out by default, right? And especially when you're Ferry and you have a safe special. Nice. I like mixing in the stance to the pressure strings. I think it adds a little bit more creativity to it. Just going to zone out for now. Ooh. See, this was like a definite read on the movement option, right? Because Lagblade has gone for the jump quite a few times, and I can't imagine anyone wants to run full screen into Ferry. And I am just going for that early sort of crouch heavy. I assume was there to punish, say, like a jump fierce, a jump heavy, or like a jump M. Not working out because the jump L just makes it whiff. But still, really cool option. Really nice little mind game there from Mago. Yeah, man, being able to stagger that helps a lot. Armoring out. I guess this is one of the options that he's looking for in Mago's pressures. Is that, or Mago's defense, is that armor through GG. Interesting. I wonder how the option selects play out with that, and if that's why he's going for a lot of the delays, is just to wait and react. Man, what a conversion. Jesus. That's sick. Gets an air to air, 5A, straight into the super. Doesn't kill though. He's getting all this pressure. Nice. Yeah, he caught him mashing there, which we have seen Lagblade go for the, as we spoke about, the 5L quite a few times. I set up GG, but man, Mago punishing it immediately. He's going to get a chunky combo. Drops it though. Manages to make it safe. He's just trying to, yeah, that is a good option versus Ferry. Whiffs the 2H. I assume he just thought he was getting a normal jump or something. And then just goes, alright, fuck it. Jump back L. Jump back L. We speak about it quite a lot, but it's always a good option versus someone that's like super jumping, staying in the air, because it's so active, you can really poke people out of that. And it allowed him to maintain this sort of positioning on the screen. You're obviously going back to full screen, but this isn't too big of an issue for Zeta, and Ferry is very close to the corner now. Ooh. Alright, works out. You get the hit, and there we go. That was the bait. You see that once again, not using the dodge. I like it. That's something I need to incorporate. Not using the dodge there, not giving away the fact you're trying to bait a DP, and you can be pretty much sure that behind this, like as this was happening, Mago was probably hitting something like L and just doing a late button. So baiting the reversal, but also trying to maintain pressure. It's a very important part of any fighting game, is being able to do stuff like that. Oof, getting a bit mad, but he's got the life to spend, you know. Well, Ferry doesn't have super, who cares? What are you trying anti-air with there, I wonder? Ah, just went for a 5L. I assume, if we look at this whole thing again, why that would be a reaction. So runs up to here and thought that Mago, you know, actually this 5L probably would have connected. Maybe got beaten out, but it would have connected if Mago had just landed on the other side. I mean, using that straight down spear, it's a super good option. Changing up the dynamic of your jump-ins, man, in any game is amazing, especially in this one. Obviously you risk getting counter hit, but the counter hit anti-airs for Ferry are kind of reasonable, weirdly. Anyway, that was a cool match. That was a really interesting one, seeing Mago deal with all those challenges of that matchup, and Lagblade's like pretty impeccable setups as well. I enjoy that. I think Zeta's just such a cool character to watch, especially Mago Zeta. So hopefully, for all of you out there, that was interesting for you, and I hope you're all doing well, and yeah, take care.